Let's get into this BBM, baby. Hope you're all having a fantastic Monday. Coming out at the 6th pick. I mean, that's an easy Gibbs for me. If I can get this set up, it is. Alright. 40 seconds. Let's check the rest of the curve so we have an idea of the later picks. 67, 80, 90, 102, 115. Just to give me a soft idea of quarterback ranges. Could easily run in like a little bit of a weird golf stack. I am a big fan. I'd like to get a little bit more Chicago, San Francisco. 17. Doing that with Gibbs could be an interesting way to do things. Caleb at 109. We could take him like 7 early. For Chicago, DJ Moore at 43. Odunze 60. I mean, we'll know if Moore's there at 43, which he should be. We can take a hard stance potentially and work into that. Where does Kittle go? 38. Yeah, so that is a little tough. It does force us to make a interesting pick there. Saquon worries me a lot this year, but I kind of do just still have to take him at pick 6. But I'm scared about the potential drop off. Just that level of volume is very hard to be the same running back afterwards. Admittedly. All right. For Philly, though, I mean, I would like to. I've done this Saquon opener before in one of the early day drafts where you go Saquon, Allen, McLaurin, and have a pretty solid setup. But I'd prefer to do that with, getting some Philly pass catchers, like running A.J. Brown into that line. But it does make it a little bit more difficult, especially when your picks then just kind of misalign a lot more than having one of the early picks where you were taking Saquon at. So it does become a little bit more difficult, but still an interesting thought to have out there is running the Philly pass catchers on an Allen line. At pick 19, in BBM, I don't think I want to go running back wide receiver from the same team at a 1-2 back-to-back. You're staking a lot in Philly in a not contradictory fashion, but I do believe it's tough to get there. It's a lot better in like Eliminator. If you give me London here, I'll take him. This is tough for me. I mean, I don't know. I'm going to take Ladd simply because I like him. I was considering taking Bowers simply because I had so little Bowers. But I hate taking Bowers because he's so ugly to stack off of. Which admittedly is a reason that I have to take him at some point, considering just how low my ownership is. He does play Philly 15, but that's like, if this were a sprint, that incentivizes me a lot more than in BBM. And then we'll see where we land at 30. Still considering, let me see Pearsall's 75 and Ayuk is 92 about. Because the Chicago San Fran is a stack I really do want to get more of. So we could align well even if we don't force our hand with Kittle at 30. Yeah. We could go Pearsall Ayuk later. So I don't hate that. I definitely think Moore will be a play at 43. And we could just work into that Chicago San Fran later. Obviously, Houston is a play, now having taken Ladd. Will be interesting to see how it lines up with our picks, though. Right now, I'm not forcing anything, though. I do like Jacobs. I don't know if this is the lineup for it, though. I'll probably just take JSN. I mean, McLaurin does work in if we take any Dallas later. We would get 2 matchups off Dallas. Let's just take JSN. Wait. I like to run it close there, don't I? Carolina is fairly easy to stack off later. And this is a pseudo weird line that I know I probably won't be doing again. Tech gives us a backup too if Moore doesn't happen to be there. Does open up some Hubbard, who I haven't taken too much of either. All right, we can build out my queue at this point. Apologizes as I go mute for a quick minute here. Though I'm queuing up Juwan, I probably won't be taking him. Simply because I kind of feel the season-long upside for him, given the uncertainty right now, is not something I want to put my bet into, given his current ADP. I'm much more willing to do it with Judkins because I see the just elite potential outcome despite the concerns that I have. It's not to put a knock on Juwan Jennings. I just do think, you know, the rookie wide receiver that got shot last year, hey, he might be as good as everyone was saying he was a route runner this year, and eventually Ayuk is going to come back. So would still be willing to take that risk maybe in Eliminator with Jennings if you see a massive ADP fall. Because if he does play early season, he's going to be a hog. But it's kind of tough for me to pull the trigger on right now. I do think we should go Kittle here because we can stack up into Chicago wide receivers later. Especially if you're a believer in, you know, the Luther Burden hype. Kind of playing into the later double is not a bad decision by any means. Alright, I gotta organize this a fair bit. Which is gonna be easier? Yeah, easier probably to pull these down. Nothing like some late Monday night positivity with this song to drive me home. This is admittedly a severe way to go about your draft, what I'm doing right now, but it helps keep me sane and remember the key things that I want to build off of, as well as remind me kind of later in the draft what my core teams look like at each position. Alright. I do think it probably just is Mixon. Nah, it's... Yeah. Let's just do Mixon. He's another player I don't have much of. And Lad having a good game is not, like, inherently dependent on a shootout. It can still be, like, a Mixon 2-score game with Lad just being peppered a lot, still netting a fair amount of yardage and hitting a TD or two in 17. And especially because my previous LA-Houston kind of minis have not focused on Mixon McConkey. And we'll make a tiny bet that maybe we see Rome fall a little bit. If he doesn't, it'll suck, but we can still just take Swift, be done at running back for a fair bit, and work into San Fran a little bit more. And then really depend on rookies and probably have to go Bird and Loveland if that is the route we want to go. Admittedly, taking Kittle does not lock us into getting Chicago, but I would like to angle into that. We'll see where Rome goes, though. Hopefully we can get something sweet. Again, I am likely not going to take Jennings. I think by 17, the upside in BBM just kind of washes out for me. I'm fairly high on Pearsall and Ayuk, while given his ADP drop because you don't know when he's going to be healthy. By week 15, 16, 17, I'm fairly confident in Ayuk being Ayuk. It's just a question if you can get there after drafting him. Damn. Only a couple picks and we would have been feeling nicey with Odunze there. Swift goes too. That's tough. Well, I'm not going to take Jaden Higgins. Yeah, we can just go Pearsall early. I don't know if that's the play necessarily, though. I think I'm gonna go Debo here because it sets up fairly good to take one of the Dallas running backs later. Because we play into Dallas, playing LA in 16 and then Washington 17. If there is a minor 1% hit on McLaurin not playing, even if it's just for a couple games, it can be a decent bump to Debo. I could also do a fairly weird lineup where I take Kittle into Ferguson. Weird, not something I'm going to do often by any means, but just weird enough to give you a bit of a unique lineup in 17, which can be a fairly good thing to base your lineups off, especially in a high pool like BBM. Not going to queue up Dak until we... Well, no, I'm just not going to queue up Dak pretty much at all. We don't have the receiving core to really justify taking Dak unless we miss on a whole lot. All right, Pearsall, make it back to me. Then we can confidently take Purdy and likely just do like a mini off the Chicago rookies. Hopefully getting likely just one of either Burden or Loveland. I'm not going to bank on getting both, though it would be cool. Slick Ricky, welcome to the squad, brother. All right. Feeling fairly good right now. We got a mini out of Mixon and McConkey. Can certainly work some Carolina in later for JSN. Have Washington playing both Barkley and McConkey, 16 and 17. And then a San Fran double to line up Purdy on. What is the pick that we're going to have to take Purdy? We can take him at 102. Okay. And I do think... I mean, do I dare triple? Yeah, I mean, that's... I said I wanted to stack Chicago San Fran, so I guess I gotta live and die by my own beliefs. By the plums. Higgins is okay. Again, I don't love taking both, like... I mean, it was a lot worse if you go Brown, Saquon. I feel like you just cap yourself a little bit there compared to, like, Higgins. Mixon is a little bit more justified. But we'll see what we get here. Hopefully we land Ayuk and can just line up into Purdy, Burden, and then Loveland the next couple. That would have me feeling juicy. B-Rob is okay. Wouldn't be the worst. Yeah, I'm pretty content with that. We'll take one of the top two up that. Preferring Ayuk though, which is nice. All right, yeah, we definitely need Purdy now. That's just a that's a hardline truth. Purdy into Burden Loveland is our ideal outcome. After that, what do the picks look like? 140, 50, 63. $40 probably has to be like Leggett. Probably, honestly, Jadon Blue over Leggett, given the matchups we play into. Maybe we get into a nice little situation where we can take both. 60 is probably Thielen, but that motherfucker is old. He old. I think Jalen McMillan is honestly a fine pick after taking Ayuk to give you some early season production, leveraging the Godwin injury to your advantage after taking someone who admittedly is also a certain question to see where they are going to end up. Brock, you made it, buddy. Interesting to see who's got the steal to take Judkins here. It'll be very interesting. I've already made my opinion on Judkins very known. I'm in this range. I'm usually I'm taking him. Because even after like a 4-game suspension, where's he get drafted? Do you really think even with a 3-4 game suspension he's getting drafted? Like, I don't know. I'm probably still... I mean, Charbonnet is a fair drop point to me because Charbonnet is such a premium handcuff, but like I'd probably rather take Quinshon Judkins on a 3-game suspension. I'll even up it. I'd probably take Judkins on a 4-game suspension over Charbonnet. And I'm a Charbonnet fan. Like, I'm drafting him at 106, 105 anytime he makes it there. If he goes there, my bags are going to be severe. And I'll probably get caught holding them, but we'll see. Alright. I do think the next pick has to be Bird and not Williams. We do have an impending question about our other quarterback, though, to be fair. I am a greed goblin. I mean, maybe we could... It's probably just Darnold later, honestly. We play into 1 game with him in 17 if he does happen to... Well, no, I lied. Yeah, with JSN, it's just an easy Darnold later. Damn, Burden goes, though. That's tiff for me. Well, I don't think I can take a naked Caleb Williams. Let's take Tracy then. I'm fine with that. I personally like him more than Scatterboo. Defense will be pretty bad. So I assume Tracy will be likely the back to get more opportunity than Scatterboo in any given game, just because the Giants' defense is it ain't it. And Tracy is going to be the better running back in negative game scripts. Could have taken Charbonnet. Honestly, not the worst decision, knowing that I'm gonna more likely than not take Darnold later, playing to both passing down back and JSN, and a premium handcuff at that. So I don't hate Charbonnet. I think I have to take Loveland. Off of this triple I've built in San Francisco, I need some Chicago, and they've been all going right before I can get him at the value that I want. Either way, next pick should be fairly lined up. We're either taking Loveland, Charbonnet, or Williams. Fairly happy with that. Dallas is good for us because they play both LA and Commanders, who we do have a Debo mini stack there for Dallas, and Ladd as well, who's a prime pick for us. All right. Come on, Loveland. Make it to me. Perfect. All right. And we're just settling for a 2 tight end lineup, praying that Loveland pops off 17 in an unexpectedly high-scoring San Fran-Chicago matchup. San Fran is going to be the key for us. So honestly, Alec Pierce isn't a bad depth piece to play into 16. Not crucial in BBM where you really want to stack 17, but especially if we get him at value and kind of miss on some of these Carolina receivers that we want to play into later, I think it's a fine decision. I don't think we want any of the later Tennessee stuff. Yeah, like I'm not taking Okonkwo and Lockett. I mean, hey, maybe Lockett surprised me this year. All right. We are looking at 140, essentially, 139, and then 150. We do have a fair bit to play with here. Nothing in the queue is a must-take at this point, so we can be a little crazy. Darnold, we can take it 174. Just wanted to see when I had to plan that out. I mean, I like both of these running backs on the board right now at value. Najee plays better into what we want to do, so I'll take that all day. Next pick, we can go Leggett, play into that Seattle matchup, knowing that we're going for Darnold later. Roshan ain't bad later. All right, 150, 163, and then Sam Darnold. So, yeah. If Leggett isn't there, I think I may do some reaching depending on the board state. We'll see though. Hopefully Legett's there and I don't have to think too much. I can't bring myself to take Ferguson, unfortunately. Eckler ain't the worst, but knowing I want to aim for Johnson makes it harder. I think I'm... Yeah, we'll have to reach on Thielen. I want some Carolina, and at this point in the draft, I just don't care about ADP. Could argue I should have reached for Johnson instead. But the order of operations doesn't really matter to me. I don't think we're going to take Robinson. Not going to take Tolbert. I don't see myself taking Dottle. Two of this late is crazy. I don't know why nobody's taking him. Why? What is going on with Jake Ferguson? What? What are they selling? If I'm gonna get him this late, I have to take him. But now I feel like a jackass for not just having taken him or taking Roshan first. I would have preferred taking Roshan. The order of operations did matter, you jack off. Yeah, this is crazy to me. Let me make sure I'm not dumb. There's some news I didn't know about. Nope. So let's see here. Well, Roshan goes. So again, the order of operations did matter. Alright, well, 3 tight end build. Alright, then we take Darnold. Finish it with... I mean, maybe we could... Nah. Yeah, no. I think we need Purdy to be the man in this lineup. That's what most of it's kind of based off. We went triple. So Purdy needs to do something. If he doesn't, we're kind of not getting anywhere anyway. Yeah, I think I'm fairly happy with Darnold into Pierce. If somehow McMillan's there, I will take him. But I think Pierce is a very solid pick for us. Should he be there? Alright. Yep. There's a fucking piece of shit. You fucking piece of garbage. Alright. McMillan, welcome to the team. I mean, we could... I don't know, what could I do? It probably, I mean, I have to take one of Show or Dart later. If not both at this point. I just don't, I really don't believe in Anthony Richardson, but he is, you know, anytime he starts, he's a momentous best ball asset. We're done at wide receiver. Next pick is probably just Dottle. But I don't see how he finds a true path, to be honest. Giddens would be fine. Pretty premium asset. Premium handcuff asset. He's not a solo premium asset. Alright, 3 picks. This is Darnold Hurts. I do think that given the long-term questions I have for Anthony Richardson, I'm going to take Giddens over him. That'll close the book at running back for us. And then we kind of just take value at quarterback. I've drafted too much Rodgers this year, and I have no incentive rest of the lineup-wise to take him here. So we'll probably just go Giddens and then quarterback value. I mean, yeah, that's all I got for you. All right, DJ Giddens, and then we just gotta play quarterback value after missing on Darnold. Rodgers definitely great value if he's somehow there in 9 picks. He won't be. Not that that was something I was necessarily planning on. DJ's fine. He's not great, though. Because even if he does start, like, the upside is so limited. They would just become an extremely run-first offense with him at the helm. It's not something I exactly... It's not a pick that excites me, but he does play into 2 matchups. Certainly a better pick, though, I think, in the sprint, where I get the cumulative value of those 2 matchups. With no Jacksonville for 17, I don't think it makes too much sense. I think I just go show and then dart, hoping that dart has some more extreme value, I guess, in fantasy playoffs. Very random, and certainly not a decision that should have too much impact on you, but let me see who show plays week 14. Buccaneers, so more likely than not he will have to put up some numbers playing against Baker. It's not the worst matchup. Buccaneers D ain't nothing to sniff at, though, so admittedly, you know, a little bit of cause for concern, but not the worst matchup in the world. I can deal with it. Yeah, I do think it's just Dart over DJ. To me, the upside of a Jackson Dart start vastly outweighs the upside of more Daniel Jones starts. Doesn't look like the draft room's going to give me the choice, though. So we'll just have to deal with DJ. Alright, well, in that case, that is the draft, ladies and gentlemen. Saquon at 6 is a fine thing to do. I mean, I've noticed I'm a Ladd McConkey stan at this point, but perfectly happy with it, especially getting a mini with Joe Mixon. Playing to Jackson Smith and Jigba, I just think he's a great player. Ended up working out fairly well if we had gotten Darnold. Kittle, because I wanted to play into Chicago, didn't end up getting the kind of Chicago value that we wanted. Players kept going right before we wanted to take him, but we did get a pretty solid San Fran triple. Some decent running back value into Loveland, so really just playing on like a Loveland bring back and like a San Fran really just aerial pounding 17. Get some Carolina for what I thought would be the eventual Seattle mini. Ferguson just because it was insane value and we get 2 matchups out of him, so I'm not too upset with it. McMillan, just a value pick after taking someone like Ayuk. You're not going to get that early season production out of Ayuk, and with Godwin's injury, you might get it out of McMillan. So I kind of like pairing them 2 together whenever I take Ayuk, even though his matchups don't necessarily play too well in this lineup. Giddens because Indy plays well into what we're doing, and then Show because we needed a quarterback after missing on Darnold. And then we'll likely just take DJ here and close out the draft. Certainly not the pick that I wanted to be making, but with no Dart on the board is what we got to do. And hopefully he gives a little bit of value throughout the season. Not putting my ultimate faith in that, but I think he's the best pick on the board, and I think this is a situation where I got to go 3 quarterbacks after taking Show. Just a little concerned about it, and even though all of our eggs are in the San Fran Brock Purdy basket, as I just said with Indy, they play into 2 matchups, so maybe he can give us a small spike in value. But that's it for tonight's draft. Appreciate everyone who popped out. Hope you have a great night. Draft well. Have a good one.